Call me crazy if you want, but I've never liked store-bought pets.
Wow, that is crazy, Susie. My craziest story is that I was told I wasn't going to be able to get pregnant. I get pregnant, and then at my 6-week scan, I see 1 yolk sac and 1 baby. At around 7 weeks, I developed terrible HG, and they told me to come in. I looked so terrible, they said, let's just get you in for a quick ultrasound. I was there by myself because I told my husband, don't miss work, I'll be okay, I'm by myself. They then do the scan on my stomach, and she looks at me and she says, do you know you're having twins? But she says it like that. She'll say, did you know you're having twins? It was like sad. It was a sad thing. So I said, no, I'm not. I'm not having twins. Last week there was 1 yolk sac, and they don't just multiply like that, right? She goes, yeah, but you are having twins. Just look at the screen. There's these 2 little heartbeats, and they're flickering right next to each other. And I looked at her and I said, are they conjoined or something? And she said, they might be. I then looked at her and said, well, it also could be something called mono twins. And I said, oh, is that a better prognosis? And she said, well, I've never seen it in my career, and there's only about 50 to 300 women in the United States that have it every year, and there's like a 50% chance they're not going to make it to 12 weeks anyway. And I told her, well, is there anything that I can do to make those odds better? And she says, no, just go home and relax. If you make it past 12 weeks, you're going to have to be hospitalized for 2 months, and then they're going to have to be born 2 months premature. But I wouldn't just go home and relax. I could not go home and there was no relaxing that happened. But that is the craziest thing that's ever happened to me.